Saraswati Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Panichakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Jai Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So this is the first time I am seeing this nice Vastu establishment. When did we acquire this? October 2018. So today we are going to have a small overview of teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Chaitanya. So Krishna is Krishna and Chaitanya is consciousness. So in one way, the name Krishna Chaitanya itself means Krishna consciousness. And our whole parampara has identified this personality, Krishna Chaitanya, as none other than the Samam Bonam, absolute truth, Bhagavan himself. Now, why would Bhagavan make his advent? The hint is given in the Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya nanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam jamyaham. Oh Arjuna, yada yada, whenever, dharmasya glani, two very important words. Dharma, dharmasya tattvam nihita guhaya. Dharma by nature is very difficult, very confidential. Nasa rishir yasya matam na minnam. And if you ask a particular authority, they would state something, and some other authority would say, no, that's not like that. This. So mata bhinnata, divergence of opinions, different opinions, is an age-old issue. Tarko apratishtha. If you just use tarka, vitarka, as some logical inference, Mahabharata says, sir, basically that whole thing is without any foundation, apratishtha. It's a nice poetic way of saying that you have a castle in the air. The castle looks real, but if you look down, you say, hey, there is no foundation for this. So how can you plant something there when the thing on which you are standing doesn't have a proper foundation? So tarka apratishtha, shutayo vibhinna. Scriptures are so many. So Mahabharata says, listen friend, mahajana yena gatasya pantha Find out who a Mahajan is and catch hold of that Mahajan and just follow. So Bhagavatam deals with 12 Mahajanas. Not that there are only 12, many. So this is Yamaraj saying that Prahlada Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahlada Janako Vishnu Balir Vayya Sakir Vayam. That Swayambhu, Brahmaji, Narada, Narad Muni, Shambhu, Lord Shiva, Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Vaiyasaki, Vyas, and his son, Vaiyasaki, Shukadeva Goswami. And he is telling his servants and our humble self, we can guide people. That's our role. So dharma to be understood from Mahajanas. Dharma glani. Glani is seen as like a huge wrestler, nicely cultivated body, very strong. And that person, if he suddenly gets a brain hemorrhage, he's flat, lying on the ground, practically useless. So dharma glani doesn't mean that that person is weak or something. He could be strong. Translating into our religious life, like nobody is going to temples, nobody is going to churches, mosques, synagogues. That is one glani. There is another way of understanding that thousands are going and there is a big, huge following of some religious leaders. But the spirit of why we are doing what we are doing, that is also that is not there. That is also glani. So dharmasa glani can mean two ways, in which there is so much of atheism, like in the erstwhile Soviet Union, religion was stamped out, no temple worship allowed. Simply not allowed. Government says no, banned. And scientific atheism taught in schools. There's one glani. And the other way to understand glani is too much of materialism, that means so much of show, pomp, glory, but lacking the essence. So Krishna says he advanced himself. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati tada, that time. Srijami ham. Srijami means to create. Srishti, the word has relation with that. But then your body and my body gets created. Who creates his body? Material nature. On what basis? Mind, material desires. I had some material desires which were unfulfilled, which were carried forward. That carry forward account is taken into consideration. My plus and minus points are taken into consideration. And thus my new body gets created. I get remembrance depending upon how much strongly I remember something. Paramatma says, you wanted to do this? Ah, yes. And then you devote yourself to that. During that particular lifetime, your mind is capable of generating billions of other material desires. So that stock is in front of you. See all that. You say, oh, I didn't fulfill any of these. That body is finished. But that desire stock gives us to another material body. Simply no end to this process. Brahmanda Brahmite Ekana Bhagavan Ji Guru Krishna Prasade Kaya Bhaktivata Beach. So Krishna and then what does he do? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. First he said srijami, means I appear as if I am created, as if like in the prison house of Kamsa, the Devaki was actually carrying Krishna in her womb. Not like there's a vacuum inside or just a inflated balloon type. Actually, Krishna comes like a human baby comes in the mother's womb. So you may say, hey, that means he's a material person. But then which baby not born few hours ago, that very minute the baby comes out of the mother's womb, the baby starts telling about the parents' previous lives. Here our babies don't understand who they are for the first 4 years of their lives. You have to carry a name tag. Who are you? See here. This is what they call me. Or the baby is in the mother's womb and demigods are praying to that unborn child. Has anybody seen an unborn child being seen as a worshipable person? No. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, the unborn child is praying to the super soul, oh my God, I'm sorry for all that I have done. Now that when I come out, please guide me into devotional service. So, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Krishna says, my birth and activities are to be understood as transcendental. That Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, who killed so many millions of Kshatriyas who were Kshatriyas in name only. They were not Kshatar Trayate, one who prevents harm from happening. Kshati means harm. So one who prevents that harm, prevents that violence, that is the real Kshatriya. But here you have Kshatriyas creating violence in the name of administration, in the name of, but then that's basically egoism. Prabhupada was asked that, are there any religious wars now? Mostly ego fighting. So, he has already killed millions. If you read Jarasandha's account, how many times he brought thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers, Krishna and Balaram killed all of them. Then the Mahabharata war, millions of them dead. So, why there is a need for Krishna to come again? One of the high points of the Bhagavad Gita is when Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Within 5,000 years of Krishna's coming and doing all his activities being documented, passed on, oral tradition, generation to generation, the knowledge was lost. Who is Krishna? Why should we surrender into him? And why? Why surrender first of all? So whenever human society feels there is no need to surrender to any higher authority, it is seen as being in the darkest of ignorance. Prabhupada once said, history will mark the period when the Hare Krishna movement saved humanity from its darkest hour. And frankly, I was doubting it. I should talk to Prabhupada and say, not the darkest hour, a little bit here and there, it's okay, life is like that. But hey, in the 60s, space exploration, man going to the moon, so many discoveries, industrial production going skyrocketing, so many new countries becoming industrial powers. Because you know, that could be like glorification or decoration of a dead body. In terms of internal exploration. So whenever there is too much of prosperity, material prosperity, the urge to ask questions about spiritual life, that also is kind of discouraged. That is the darkest hour. Of course, the other side, too much of material distress, too much of famine, drought, epidemic, war, that also doesn't leave anybody peace of mind to chant Hare Krishna or to do something. So seeing this backdrop of Kali Yuga, Krishna decides, okay, I'll come myself. but not as Supreme Person, but as a devotee. So we have Mahavishnu himself coming as Advaitacharya and praying, Hunkar Garjanartha Ahoratra Bhajanam. He's roaring like a lion. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes as Advaita Simha, lion. Mahavishnu himself, and he's saying, I can't do it. I can't do anything to save this population. You have to come, you have to come, you have to come. So Falgun Purnima, 1486, according to the Gregorian calendar, a child was born, the household of Jagannath Mishra, in the womb of his wife Shachi Devi. They called him Nimai, because of the neem tree under which he was born. He was named Vishwambhara, one who could support the entire world. And Advaitacharya and others, they detected this boy is special. So we have pastimes of the Lord as maybe Nimai became a scholar, Nimai Pandit, got married and married twice. First Lakshmi Priya Devi, then Vishnu Priya Devi. And at the age of 24, all of a sudden, he renounced everything in this world. He took sannyas. After sannyas, he taught in various places 5 main discourses. These 5 discourses form the backbone of the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. First is Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and then Prakashananda Saraswati. Of these, Rupa and Sanatana are his closest disciples. Ramananda Rai, a very close associate. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is the Raj Purohit, head priest of the government of Puri, the king of Puri. And Prakashananda Saraswati was a brilliant Nirvisheshwadi Mayavadi scholar. Rupa and Sanatan, they were brothers from Karnataka. Their ancestors settled in Bengal. So they and their the 3 brothers, Rupa, Sanatan, and Anupam or Vallabha, and his son Jiva. So for the 6 Goswamis, 3 of them are having blood relations among each other. So for Rupa Goswami, Mahaprabhu taught what is bhakti. Bhakti, bhakti, we see so many times the word said, but what exactly is bhakti? So Rupa Goswami gave all that what he learned from Mahaprabhu in our book Nectar of Devotion. There is bhakti, there is devotion. Rasa, there is some taste in it. Rasa always means a liquid. So Sanskrit poetry says that if you have to relish something solid, it's good. But when it becomes flowing rasa, it becomes more relishable. So eating a mango and then mango lassi, mango shake. And that bhakti rasa is described as amrit. It never dies, it never gets old, never gets boring. So when any person with an open mind understands what is bhakti rasa, the overwhelming thought in their mind would be, this is exactly what I was looking for in material life. This is exactly what everybody else is looking for in material life. Not just me alone, even animals. Of course, animals cannot relish rasa in the strict sense, but eat, sleep, mate, defend. That's how they do. That's how they try to borrow rasa. So that rasa is established by Rupa Goswami as an ocean. That's why it's called Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. It's huge, vast. So many concepts come there. So just like an ocean has four parts, Purva, Paschim, Uttar, Dakshin, and the ocean has four parts. Just like an ocean has waves, there is Lahari. So the Lahari are the waves given by the Rasamrit Sindhu. The first 19 chapters of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu deal with the basic nitty-gritty of devotional service. Other chapters then deal with Rasa Tattva. With Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu talked about who Krishna is as a person. So the sun expands its rays. That's how Krishna expands himself. You and me cannot say I have expanded myself, that I am doing work in my office also, I am playing golf, and I am hearing Bhagavatam class here. No. We don't have that independence. It requires power. Material nature can give us that power artificially. Like a TV camera, like there are two me's here. This is one me and this is one me. But can this image independently move of itself? Like I keep silent and that gives class, this one here. I said, I am bored now, so you take over. You may say, this doesn't have an independent state of existence beyond you. I raise my right hand, that also is the right hand. So yogi's expansion is like this. You can have 20 laptops here, and I can be seen talking in 20 ways. Some could be sharp, some could be long, elongated, whatever. But Krishna, there could be 20 million such screens, and all of them could be speaking differently. Sripad Ramanujacharya, who is considered to be the expansion of Lakshman, Ramanuja, there was a screen put up, and about 1,000 scholars were debating with him. And he took the mood of Shesha with thousands of heads. And he said, do one thing, all of you start asking questions. He said, okay, one by one. No, at once. So 1,000 scholars are talking in thousands of different ways on 1,000 concepts, objections about Vaishnava way of life. And Ramanuja sitting behind the screen is answering all of them at once. So he's speaking, and each one of them is thinking he's only answering my objection, my query. And he defeated all of them. That's what it means to be God. And here he's not claiming I'm God, he's a servant of God. So today our understanding of God has become so marginalized and so degraded. A little bit of Namaskar Chamatkar and we feel that this person is God. The purpose is at least read my books to understand what is the qualification for being God. Achieving God much later. Please try to understand what is the qualification. So how does Krishna expand? How does Krishna take incarnation? 6 kinds of incarnations are described in Sanatana Goswami's Shiksha. Purusha Avatar, Yuga Avatar, Guna Avatar, Mantra Avatar, Shaktivesh Avatar, Leela Avatar. From our childhood we thought there are 10 avatars of Vishnu. But those 10 only come in the Leela category. There are many more of the Leela category. Only 10 prominent ones are described. What about the other 5? The Bhagavatam says, Avataro hi asankhya hare sattvani dvija yathavadasina kurya sarasyasu sahasrashah. Avatars are asankhya, like ripples on a stream. Can't count them. Then we move on to Ramananda Shiksha. Ramananda is the governor of a province. Sarvam Bhattacharya tells Mahaprabhu, oh, you are going there, please meet Ramananda. It's all a nicely played out drama. Mahaprabhu says, oh really? Who is he? Oh, he's a great soul. But he's a governor. Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. He says, no, if you say Sarvabhauma, I will meet him. Ramananda is none other than Lalita Sakhi. Sorry, Vishakha Sakhi. Prabhu Damodar is Lalita Sakhi. So, Ramananda Rai meets Mahaprabhu and they discuss the mellows of devotion service right from the level of Mahaprabhu asks Ramananda Rai, what should a person do? He said, just follow Varnashram, the teachings of your spiritual and social ashrams, and that's the end of life. Mahaprabhu says, that's very external. Go deeper. And then Ramananda Rai goes from giving up all activities to even giving up the pursuit of knowledge to a point where he says, just come here like this, like how we have come, and discuss about Krishna. And Mahaprabhu says, that's it. This is what, so through Ramananda and through that discussion, Mahaprabhu is giving us a hint that what is the meaning of preaching? What's the meaning of developing our Krishna consciousness? Coming together and discussing about Krishna Lila. This is the main thing, asking questions about Krishna. Shukdev Goswami says, anyone who asks questions about Krishna and if he gets the proper answers, that activity should be considered to be the topmost welfare activity for everybody. Varyaneshate prashna. Loko hitam dhrita. These questions are the best. So Ramananda Rai then talks about levels of devotees, goes up to gopis level. Mahaprabhu says, anything higher than that? He says, nobody has asked anything like that before. But since you are talking, I am like a veena, stringed instrument. You are the player. I cannot make music. I am capable of producing music provided somebody handles me. So Mahaprabhu says, I am your student. He says, no, I am the stringed instrument and you are the player. It goes about Radharani's personal nature. Who is Radharani basically? This Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna taking the full mood of Radharani. So obviously when Krishna would be derided as you are not God, he would show that this is how I am. Demons would come and accuse Krishna of so many things. And then he would kill them. Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just the opposite. They say, you are Narayan. He says, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. He would close his ears and jump in the Ganga. Never, never, ever consider one living entity to be as equal to the Lord. So that will make you an atheist. The fourth one is with Sarva Bhattacharya. When Mahaprabhu came to meet him in Jagannath Puri, Sarva saw this young sannyasi and he said, what's your name? Krishna Chaitanya. Oh, you have not kept your sannyas name? He said maybe he got sannyas from a very smallish kind of sampradaya. Like somebody has done PhD from some obscure college, nobody knows. He says, why do you just put BA, MA? Why not PhD? No need. Because like I knew one devotee, he's a PhD, but his college the university became defunct. So the
Blacklist.
So the PhD exists, but the university doesn't. Obviously, you would be ashamed. Someone thought that maybe he's a bit ashamed. He said, okay, I'll do one thing. Why did you take sannyas? Mahaprabhu makes a face as if, I also don't know whether it's the right decision or not. Yes. Now, all this is bringing forth parental love in the heart of Sarvabhauma. A young person, 24 years old, he said, how are you going to survive as a sannyasi? You need to have strong fundamentals. He said, yeah, I know, but okay. You agree to stay with me? I'll train you up. Sarva Bhattacharya takes the responsibility of training Mahaprabhu in Vedanta philosophy. And from day one they start speaking. Mahaprabhu is with this. 7 days Taram Bhattacharya speaks. The last day he says, my Lord, this person is actually so dull, he's not able to understand anything. Poor fellow. He said, Vishnu Chaitanya, you're not asking any questions. You're not saying anything, yes or no. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? If you have any doubt, speak up. 7 days Mahaprabhu invested in. Then he opens his mouth saying, the Sanskrit which you are talking is not difficult at all. I can understand that. Then what is the issue? He said, like the nice sun, brightly shining. The meaning of the Sanskrit verses given by Vyasdev is like this kind of sun, very clear. So, you interpret it in such a way that that becomes like a dark cloud which is covering the sun. He said, hey, you dare speak to me like this? Why don't you give your interpretation then if you're so smart? Mahaprabhu was speaking one by one. It's like you just knock out pillar after pillar of a house. You know those demolition experts? They just put charges on various pillars, nicely put. It begins with the bottom ones, lesser charge is put in the top ones. Once these are knocked out, the whole 13-story building comes. That Bhattacharya is horror struck. Every time you would offer something, Mahaprabhu would cut it down. That night he is thinking, all my cherished things about knowledge, renunciation, he has proved that all are dry. Mahaprabhu goes to Jagannath temple. The priests give him Mahaprasad. He comes home. He's staying with Saurabh Bhattacharya. Acharya, yes, didn't take rest. No. I have some Mahaprasad for you. Okay. He says, but you didn't take your bath. You have not performed your Snan Sandhya. He said, hell with it. Mahaprasad should be honored. The moment you see it, get it, accept it. So Mahaprabhu is happy that this is the respect for Jagannath Prasad. Jagannath Swami is one that you offer him worship by eating his prasad. That's how merciful he is. So that conversation about that Atmaram verse, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam, we don't go too much in detail, but why are very renounced people attracted to Krishna Lila? If they have renounced material things and then they start relation Krishna Lila, that means Krishna Lila has to be beyond material things. That's the sutra. And finally, with Prakashanand Saraswati, he is a sannyasi. How is a sannyasi? He is a chief sannyasi. He has 60,000 sannyasi disciples under him. And Mahaprabhu has gone to Varanasi. Varanasi is the headquarters of this kind of thought. Everywhere you see Brahma, Chaitanya, Brahma, Chaitanya. Nowhere there is Krishna Nam taken. So Mahaprabhu describes that the chapter in Madhya Lila chapter 17, which describes Mahaprabhu's travels to holy places. That is, he goes from Puri to Jharkhand, from Jharkhand to Mathura and Vrindavan. On the way, he stops at Varanasi. So there it is described how with Prakashanand Saraswati Mahaprabhu debated with him, and the sutra, the main subject for that particular discussion is what is Vedanta Sutra? Veda, knowledge, Vedanta, end of knowledge, and Sutra means everything taken in a concise form. Doctors, engineers, we all have our code language. We talk in terms of, that happens everywhere. So the Upanishads and those who learn the Upanishads, their language or their sutra, that is Vedanta Sutra. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now make the biggest inquiry. What does now mean? Now means now that we have gone through so many births, now we have got a human life. Now talk about something. What is that? Ask the biggest question anybody could ask. What are the small questions then? Where do I eat? Where do I sleep? How do I mate? How do I defend? Ah, that is animal life. Go beyond that. Go beyond, go beyond, go beyond. So Vedanta stories like that, people really, those who are Upanishadic people, they like that. So the aim of Vedanta Sutra, that is described in the conversation with Krishna. This, Prabhu, is a nutshell of what teaching of Lord Chaitanya is. Hare Krishna.
Therefore, it's amazing. The best and the most succinct class ever on a book like TLC.
Capsule.
Yesterday was Bhagavad Gita, today was TLC.
Like this will do Bhaktisastri in like 2 days. I'll be the first student.
This is always a desire of our acharyas that depending upon the requirement, mood, the brain power of students, they always try to keep things how they can be given in a concise form as much as possible. But there is one danger to it. When everything is concise, you get the happiness that you know it. But then that happiness should not be clouded by the pride that I have mastered it. No. You just know it technically, theoretically. That should be used as a launchpad for going deeper. So sometimes this concise thing is just like you get a roadmap to a treasury. Okay, I have a map, now I am a millionaire. No. Now you have to go and try to find out how to retrieve that treasury. Is it not? So the Bhagavatam is a concise form of the whole Vedanta Sutra exposition. Bhagavad Gita is a gist of the Upanishads. And Bhaktisamrita Sindhu is a sar of summary of Bhakti Shastras. Brahma Samhita also is considered to be like the essence of everything. The policies for Bhakti life, what to do, what not to do. Upadesh Amrit is considered like that. Just like a cow, big animal whom you, not to call her animal, she's like our mother, but modest sense. Then the milk of the cow. So you take care of the cow, feed her, you get her milk. What do you do with the milk? You make, you curdle it, then you churn into butter. That butter is clarified into ghee. So that ghee is considered the essence of everything. That's also how Shastras go from one level to more deep, more deep, more deep. Any points to discuss? Questions? Queries?
Small question.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Question? There is a question. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is
Yes,
Vanamali Gopaldas. I just joined. I was hearing about, you were talking about, what is the name? Jagannath Puri. I forgot. After Ramananda Rai, you are talking about Sarva Bhattacharya. Yes, yes. So Sarva Bhattacharya was Mayavadi. I know before he met or during even initial days of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed him kind of, we can say, lot of mercy. A lot of mercy, right? Before he was converted to a kind of a devotee. Why is that? Is it simply because he is related to Ramananda Rai? That also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at least apparently he didn't know that also. Or he was just in a position of administrator of Jagannath Puri.
Well, Sarvan Bhattacharya also has a brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, and Gopinath Acharya used to argue with him in a friendly way. Gopinath Acharya says that our Lord Mahaprabhu has come to Puri, who is none other than Krishna himself. And Sarvan Bhattacharya says, I can't agree with this just because you say he is your Lord and he is Krishna himself. And in the purport, Prabhupada actually praises Sarvan Bhattacharya for not accepting based on somebody's whims or fancies or somebody's opinion. Prabhupada said, it's a proper way of thinking. Why should I accept? Give me the Shastric evidence. Later, when Sarvan Bhattacharya becomes a devotee, he praises Gopinath Acharya, saying to Mahaprabhu that only because of my connection with him, you blessed me. Otherwise, I was gone. I was very happy with my own, as you rightly said, Mayavad conclusions. But the connection with the devotee saved my life. That is Sarvan Bhattacharya's internal mindset.
Yeah.
And the reason why Mahaprabhu talked with him, basically he's an internal associate, confidential associate. They may take opposite roles, like Jai Vijay may take opposite roles before before Narasimhadev and Varahadev, but that is part of that Leela. So Mahaprabhu certainly did not sit with any and every sundry Mayavadi leader, because that time debating with people was like the main occupation of scholars. But Mahaprabhu chose Sarvan Bhattacharya because he was the best of all of them. And then how he changed his heart, then there is no need for him to sit with anybody else. So we can understand it from many layers. One is that he's an eternal associate and he was the best of the scholars. So all these things taken together, we understand this Leela. Is it okay? Do you have any other question?
Yeah, that's very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you. Another question is follow up on this. We are talking about connection to a devotee. Here also, like, I may have connections with the devotees. Sometimes these connections are favorable in the sense, they are good connections. The times are going to be bad sometime, and there is, hazy connection. So now during the hazy connections, apparently, my attitude could be, may not be, could be offensive too. And now this is my question is, even though, we may, we know, in principle, these devotee connections are very, very important in our life, Vaishnava's life. But how to get out of, if I am in a mood of kind of hazy connection or a relationship, how not to get into it, or if I am there, what should be my thought process, to have better relationship.
One of the best examples which inspires me about relationships and connections is the household of Srivas Thakur. There was a year-long Sankirtan going on there. All night, Mahaprabhu, the whole Panchatattva, and The other associates, they would chant, dance. The favorable connection here is Srivas Thakur's housemaid, just a simple servant. All she would do was do simple household chores, tasks. But Mahaprabhu saw that she was the one who would bring Ganga Jal for their worship. And Mahaprabhu asked, who is she? They said, oh, she's just a simple house help. Her name is Dukhi. Now it is interesting why people would call their children with these kind of names. Garib Das or Dukhi. So I was told that sometimes couples would have babies, but they would not survive for long. So the feeling was give them some name which even Yamaraj would not like. Arey, this is Garib Das, this is Dukhi. So make it unattractive so that he would not take them. So Mahaprabhu said, no, she should be Sukhi. Why she should be Dukhi? So this is the instance of somebody not performing any kind of active or direct service to the Lord, but serving those who serve the Lord, and they get immense benefit. This is the positive one. The negative connection thing is, Srivas Thakur's mother-in-law once was curious what these people do in the courtyard. All night we hear loud music. So she hid herself behind some object. And Mahaprabhu, as he started Kirtan, he said, I don't feel that mood today. Is there anybody who should not be here in our courtyard? Srivas Thakur said, I don't think so. Let me check. And he finds his own mother-in-law hiding. So he catches her and kicks her out. He says, you're not allowed here. Now a mother-in-law's connection is more intimate than a house help. But there was no proper attitude, there was no proper feeling. And therefore, even though she forcibly, physically came in the Sankirtan, she was taken out. While Dukhi, always standing far away, but she was called in because of her attitude. So both have a connection. One connection is strong, one is weak. But the weaker connection is help with humility. The stronger connection, because there is pride, she actually deprived of the association. This is how we can understand.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes, Prabhu, your question.
I feel like, thank you for the nice lecture. So, just want to take something. So, as a responsible father, as a responsible husband, son, so what should be the thing which I should take or guide my family that way? Like from Mahaprabhu's teachings, everything. That I can give something to them. That way, they get that good essence and like they get attracted to this so how should I help them or like that because the where we are like they do not get that kind of mood to attract to this nectar. So how should I help them out that way they get that traction towards the right thing?
Very good question. The basis of all that is the sense of proprietorship. So every father, every mother, every guru, every demigod, every king, every spiritual teacher, when they deny that proprietorship from their heart, that I don't own these people, they're not my property, they're Krishna's property. Now the thing is, because we are weak, or we are in the beginning stage, if something is not my property, then I don't feel inclined to protect it. Like in India, they say the railway is your property. Oh, okay, then hell with it. Their intention in telling that this is your property means please take care of it. Like if in your own house you see a curtain blind going a little bit in disrepair, or the garage door not properly fixed, not properly closing, you say, I have to remember to fix it tomorrow because it's a question of security. The door is open, somebody may steal my car. So because your property, so you are interested in protecting it. But if the state's property, some dustbin lying upside down, it says, okay, not mine. So they say this is your property. That means take care of it as if it is your property. But in your heart, you know it is not mine. So that is the ideal situation. In that sense, give them all that is required. Now that is a bigger subject. So just because I deny this family, wife, children are mine, and I offer them to Krishna, so that automatically they will become devotees? Not necessarily. But you have done your part. Up to the level of Advaita Acharya, 3 of his sons declined to accept Mahaprabhu. Very significant thing. So it is mentioned that they became asar, they became without any essence. Their names are vaguely mentioned somewhere here and there. But Achyutananda, he took Gopal, took. So mostly those parents who are responsible, those husbands who are responsible, those wives who are responsible, they do their duty, and at least that makes their life successful. And to some other extent, when they do their duties properly, their children also benefit. So the first thing is that sense of proprietorship. And from your heart, you say, like why Mahaprabhu, why Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays that Manasa, Deha, Geha, my mind, my body, and my Manasa, Deha, my body, my mind, my soul, my Geha is my house, everything I am offering you, Krishna. It is yours to do whatever you want. This takes cultivation. It's not just once you say or sign it, okay, today I sign my body. Okay. But tomorrow I may use it for my own purpose. So it's a process of cultivation. But this prayer, you know this prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Manasa Deha Viha Jo Kichu Moda Pilu Tuva Pale Nanda Kishore. That's the basis of that. That keeps you in a very healthy state of mind. So that's what we want. The mind should be in a healthy state. And thus we progress.
Not get captivated with like what's going on with things, how we are not able to manage things, though we want to, but we can't manage. So just not to worry too much.
See, we can manage things. That means if I am told, what should I do for this? Just stay in a corner, don't do anything. That also is managing. When we say managing, we are actually hinting at controlling. So control is a relative thing. Sometimes you may have, sometimes you may not. Like for raising the family, Chanakya Pandit has said up to 5 years, just shower unconditional love. 5 to 14, little bit of disciplining because that time the mind is developing, brain is developing. After 14 or 15, there is no question of disciplining. Then your children should be seen as a friend, your son or daughter. Should we stop here?
Yes.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Shri Gaura Mahaprabhu ki,
Jai.
Shri Radha Chandra ki,
Jai.
Sai Gaur Premanande.
Yes, Shaman
Prabhu.
Ki Jai.